So to get things started, first grouping I have here are Ipconfig, Arp, and Route. Now the Ipconfig command is a very heavily used command in the world of TCP/IP and Windows. And this command is used to view your TCP/IP configuration. And it kind of makes sense within the name. Matter of fact, you'll find a lot of these commands tend to make sense within the name. I mean, it's Ipconfig. It shows you your IP configuration, or TCP/IP configuration, to really spell it all out. Now, some people think of Ipconfig as a way of looking up your IP address. Well, that's true. And in previous lessons, we learned that we don't just look at IP addresses. The IP address also has a subnet mask, and then we also have a default gateway. Well, this can all be seen from the Ipconfig command. And to take it a step further, I will tell you that there are some what's called switches, which are additional add-on commands, basically, that you can add to one of these commands. So you can add all these different switches to the Ipconfig command to display all sorts of different TCP/IP configuration information. Now, like I said, we are going to jump over to the operating system in just a few minutes here, and this is one of the commands that I will show you, because this is something that I think any and every network administrator should be very familiar with. Now, the next command I have listed here is the ARP command, and you may have seen that term ARP before, because ARP is also a protocol. Matter of fact, I make mention of this protocol in another lesson. ARP stands for the Address Resolution Protocol, and this is a protocol that is responsible for resolving IP addresses down to physical hardware addresses, or what's sometimes referred to as MAC addresses. And there's a process involved with resolving an IP address down to a MAC address. And since this process can be time consuming, we have something called the ARP cache, which is where we store recently resolved IP addresses. Well, the ARP command is used to view and manage the ARP cache. Okay, so just keep in mind that ARP is a protocol, but it's also a command or a utility. Now, the third one I have listed here is the route command, and this is used to display and manage the routing table. In another lesson in this course, I talk all about routing. Well, the route command is what's going to help to see how routing takes place on a Windows computer.